Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline, coast to coast.
Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. Dr. Drew is in Minneapolis tonight, Drew?
Yes, sir, here I am.
Dr. Drew, board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Our guest tonight, legendary porn star Ron Jeremy.
It is great to be here. Hi, Dr. Drew. How are you?
Ron.
I always see you at airports. This is very special.
That's the last time we ran into each other.
You got to be my doctor. I see him. So I see more than my own doctor. I'm telling you.
Ron, are they letting you through airports after the tragedy? I'm surprised.
I look kind of Arab, you know.
Well, you got two things working against you. You got a little Arab thing going, and you got a little dice going too. You know, like you could be up to trouble. And you may have some Arab blood.
You know what's funny is I was on the plane with this lady. They wouldn't let her bring her knitting needles. She was an old lady. She couldn't bring them on the plane.
Right.
Thought they were going to knit an Afghan. Oh, come on, folks. Starting with a bang. Sorry about that. I couldn't help that.
I'm not laughing.
I'm sorry, Dr. Drew. I just couldn't help that.
Yeah.
He would backhand me if he was here, I swear, on that one.
Ron, as you know, last time, well, a couple things about Ron. First, I have his penis, not his actual penis, but a representation of his penis.
Model.
A mold of his penis that's in my house. It's now in my attic because my maid found it and...
Did she utilize it?
I really hope not. Although
I mean to dust the house with.
Yeah, I don't. You know, it's that weird thing where there's a little language barrier, and she didn't confront me on it. But I know I found it sitting out after she'd gone through the place, and I'm sure she's drawn her own horrible conclusions.
It's like when your mother finds some paraphernalia.
Tell her it's yours.
It out.
Never a word has been spoken about it. She thinks awful things about me.
Just tell her it's yours. It's a mold of you.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
It would have been mine, but I had to fold mine in half for this one.
Prototype.
There you go.
Ron, also, I've been a big admirer of his work for over the years. And, I don't mind saying that it makes a difference to me who the guy is in the porn film. A lot of guys won't cop to this. They think it's gay. I like to see a guy with a nice unit on him who knows what he's doing.
You're gay.
And and Ron knows what he's doing. Ron's got a couple. I know Ron's work so much. I know he has a patented move, which is a self-guide-in move he does with his dork. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, Ron, no one else really does that. Ron does this move, Drew. Now, can you pick... Drew, lie on your back for a second. Let me just illustrate something here.
Is he in a hotel room in Minneapolis?
No, I'm in a radio studio.
Ron does this move where he lines his junk up there with the lady's junk, and then without any use of his hands...
Oh, it just goes right in
there. Slides right in, as if there's some sort of vacuum calling it home or something. Yeah. Like a swallow returning to Capistrano.
Nice comparison.
Thank you. And I'll tell you, Taboo 2, Ron all over Taboo 2,
that was nasty.
By the way. Yeah, it was, now what year was that Taboo 2?
Oh, God, I think when I did that film, most of the girls I work with today were sperm. Oh, man. That was like 19 years ago, 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe late 70s.
The song that you're hearing was not the theme song of Taboo 2.
But it was in it.
I want to share that with you.
It was in it.
Might have been, actually.
Oh, yeah. Think about it. Oh, yes, he does. They weren't singing about Ron, though. But Ron had a great scene. They had a big orgy at the end in some guy's house. The editing wasn't great, because you'd be like on one chick, and then you'd be on another chick, and there's this great shot of you just sort of looking around the room, like asking someone for a towel.
And it was nice and skinny back then, too, actually.
Oh, you look good, yeah. Yeah, very nice.
Now they have me under contract with a company called Metro, so I work just for one company.
Yeah,
which is kind of nice.
How many films have you made?
1,700.
And
over a 23-year period.
You got the record.
Still working.
You got the record.
I have the record for the most films ever made on the planet. Guy Tom Byron is catching. They say we're pretty much neck and neck.
I don't know. Tom Byron, the guy with the big calves. He's a kid. I don't know.
But I think most historians say actually have done more films.
Yeah, well, it's certainly much more recognizable than Tom Byron, or Tommy Byron, as I know him by. And we're going to plug Ron's new documentary, which is out, which I'm very interested in seeing. First off, every time I see you, I ask you to get that movie Spank Me, F Me, with Minka.
Yes.
Ron has done a Minka movie.
Gotta get you
I've been trying to get hold of this thing, and Ron will not help me.
I gotta
Mika
find
was no help.
She lives in Las Vegas. I have to get a hold of that film. I don't even know who distributes it.
But
Who's
He
number one?
asked her for it. She couldn't produce it.
well, here's my point. This is what I love about the porn industry. I have the 2 stars of the film that I've been trying to get my paws on for 3 years, and neither one of them can figure it out. That's what I love about porn.
It's a strange business, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like mainstream films. They go, oh, let's go get a hold of Warner Brothers or 20th Century Fox. They have it, you know.
Well,
you know where, you know, it's hard to know where these films are half the time.
And what title they're under, too.
Yeah, it's changed.
I say it's, though it's high time someone did a documentary on Ron's life, because I definitely think he'd be the most interesting character in the industry.
Well, it starts out when I was a school teacher. I'm licensed, master's degree. Oh, that's all in there. Discusses my parents both being veterans in the war. I mean, it's both mom and dad. I mean, it's a lot of interesting stuff. People do find it interesting.
And how long is it?
9 3/4 inches. Oh, sorry, the documentary. It's an hour and 20 minutes.
And how explicit is it?
It's a lot of fun little TNA and fluff, but they really go into a lot of personal stuff and family backgrounds. And in fact, this just came out. The LA Weekly gave it Critics' Choice.
Oh,
and
yeah.
both the New York Times and the LA Times and the Village Voice have praised it immensely. So I'm kind of happy. You know, that they,
listen, you know, they do documentaries on the women of Afghanistan and the AIDS quilt and all that crap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why not do a documentary on something you'd watch anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like, most documentaries get you to watch crap you didn't want to watch before, except for someone's going to do a documentary on it.
Right,
Even then it can be interesting.
Yeah.
This is actually you'd watch, and it's a documentary. So,
Ron, how did you get started in the business?
I did a lot of theater back in New York first, you know, and then my girlfriend at the time, you know, actually we discussed this, you know, I was on The View, you know.
Oh,
I actually faced Barbara Walters a couple of days ago. So they asked me the same thing. And my girlfriend sent a picture at the time to Playgirl magazine, 1978, October. So I was a guy next door. And a lot of the directors who were doing porn were doing mainstream films. So, you know, the job market was real tough back in New York. I was doing theater. I got into the union, stage union, equity. And then, you know, I did my first adult film back in 1978 because, you know, I said this starving actor would. I quit teaching and I wanted to perform. And back then, you know, you do like, it was on film. So you might work 10 days as an actor and then 1 day sex.
Oh, really?
It was Bad Girls, Ecstasy Girls, Amanda by Night, Co-ed Fever, Fascination, Roommates, Cafe Flesh. These were all films that had, like, were shot on film.
You were in that?
No, but I'm saying these are films that were
good.
But I'm saying these are films of that era, which had a lot of story, they were not like they are made today, you know. And,
right.
Well, that's kind of what Boogie Nights was about, right? That
yes,
transition.
exactly what it's about. Yeah. So then when the market went video, it went to the homes. People, you know, a lot of more younger couples would watch it. But then in the process, you'd start to shoot directly on video. Then you had the amateurs, the couple next door, the internet. So now basically a lot of the storylines are gone. Some people are still trying to do it. Metro tries to do it, but basically a lot of storylines are gone. And so it's just a matter of, hi, here's a cup of coffee, eat this. There's, you know.
Right.
So
well, then why that
Ron,
being
delicate
said.
sensibilities, Adam, are offended by the direction that pornography is taking.
Yes. How dare you.
I walked right into that one, didn't I?
They've soiled his art. Well, but why stay with it then? I mean, do you need the money? No, for you now, right now. I mean, now, tonight. I mean, do you want the money?
If I was doing enough, I was doing enough. I'm doing a decent amount of mainstream. Like, in other words, I'm always glad that I got my medical benefits under the Screen Actors Guild. So I'm getting enough work in mainstream.
Right.
I'm actually in the film Urine too. Actually, that was done a long time ago.
Still don't remember that.
Yeah, it was I think it was starring Tippi Hedren, the writer.
I know my ass hurts, but that's all I remember.
Not that kind of movie. Ron. It was a regular movie.
Well, but let me.
It's just too much fun to quit right now. I mean, I figured if I was getting enough work in the mainstream, I would quit.
But do you not want to quit because you're, you know, Cal Ripken Jr.?
I like to be current.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean? You get a fresh crop of young tang coming down the pike every 10 minutes. I mean, that's one perk. The other is, are you sort of scared that, you know, when you drop out, that'll be it? I mean, you know, like retiring.
I'll never get nookie the rest of my life.
Well, no, I don't mean nookie. I just mean, like, a lot of guys, like, if you just drew a sports analogy. It's exciting.
Funny.
You like to be in front of the camera.
I like being the fact that, this might sound kind of corny, but I'm 48. And I always was told by guys that when you get into your 50s, Dr. Drew probably can answer this better, that, you know, the ability to get a lift off might not be as easy. I've never taken Viagra. A lot of guys do. The LA Times did an article on that I don't take it. And I just want to keep doing it until it comes to a part where it becomes too difficult, in which I will want to stop. Why make a fool of myself?
Then you take Viagra.
Well, then I'll quit and take Viagra in my own personal life, maybe, you know? Right now, I mean, Dr. Drew, there's not really any bad effect. I mean, I've heard that people could see blue or if you have a heart condition. I mean, have you ever heard anything bad about Viagra?
Well, we don't know. We don't know what happens to healthy people on it because it's not been studied. We know that people that have medical causes of erectile dysfunction, it looks fine.
Right.
Except for the heart issue.
And so many guys in porn use it. In fact, it's changing the face of porn because, you know, Adam, that over the years you see a lot of the same male faces.
Sure.
You know, whereas now with Viagra, any guy could be a porn star. So you get a young, cute kid, and he takes Viagra, and bingo, he does the scene.
Well, you know, that is interesting because before Viagra, I mean, minus Viagra, what percentage of the male population can maintain an erection and have an orgasm?
Small group.
With a bunch of guys standing around eating donuts with duct tape on their belts.
Small group.
A very small percentage, but that number has now been tripled.
Of course, anybody could do
with
it now.
Viagra.
Now anybody could do it.
Well,
I've seen guys
sure
walk in
Drew
there
could do this.
who's so nervous, don't think they could do it. Boom, take a pill. There it is, bingo. I'm telling you, it's amazing. I've seen it work.
Now you know what chicks who haven't got boob jobs feel like. Thank you.
Right, exactly.
Let's heal some babies. All right, let's heal some babies. But when does this? Where can we find this movie?
It's opening up tomorrow night, Friday night, in Los Angeles and New York. Here it's going to be at the Newark Theater, which is on Santa Monica Boulevard on the 405. There are two shows tomorrow, 7:30 and 9:30. Actually, 9:40. And it's called Porn Star, The Legend of Me, Ron Jeremy. And it's opening up in New York City at the Cinema Village. Also Friday night.
I was saying last night, are your parents alive?
My dad is, yeah.
No, he sees this. Is he proud? Is he happy?
You know, it's funny. The notoriety's been kind of fun. You know, like, they'll be at a restaurant having dinner with the whole family, and the chef comes out and says, Ron Jeremy, give me an autograph. It's on the house. They see that, you know, even the nieces or the grandkids, they'll see me in a music video.
Right.
Like I'm the hero of my niece because I was in the Kid Rock video, and all the kids in class love Kid Rock. So I mean, like, not from the adult stuff necessarily, but the other perks I've had.
Right.
I have shirts that are marketable. I have rolling paper, which is now on the market.
Oh, you do?
Look at this. Here, take it. This is yours.
Wait a minute.
Look at that. Is that funny?
Forget about rolling paper.
Yeah, that's in smoke shops all over America right now.
How about belly wipes?
That's
what you should have come out with.
I'm even on a bong that a company's manufacturing right now.
Let's save the baby. You know? All right.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Can I keep this?
Yeah, but Bob Marley's company makes that.
Jesus Christ.
Look at this.
Yeah, I'm looking. There's rolling papers, a big penis on it, and there's 1,000 pictures of Ron. And if you were high and looked at this, your head would explode, though, Ron. I think that's dangerous. Pictures of Ron's head on the papers. All right,
different characters over the years in movies.
Look out, Zigzag Man. All right, let's talk to Roger's 33. Roger. All right, Drew, I'm going to pick another call.
Go 5.
Drew, I told you I was going to pick it. Drew, didn't I say I was going to pick another call?
Mm-hmm.
Kelly.
Hey.
You're 23?
Yes.
What's up?
First of all, I wanted to say Ron is the man. And second of all, I wanted to say I love you guys.
Thanks.
I love you and Drew, seriously.
Are you drunk or high or what's up?
No, come on.
Okay.
So,
I'm the man, but she loves you guys.
Yeah.
Right,
well,
yeah.
So do you like me?
I like Ron. You're right up there with Scott and Napoleon.
Oh, that's okay. It's interesting. Interesting. Okay.
You a big fan of Napoleon?
Oh yeah, he was hot.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what he did for a living?
He was probably a porn star.
All right, go ahead there,
yeah. So anyhow, I had anal sex for the first time last night, and dear Lord, today I'm really paying for it because my asshole is so hurting and it's bleeding, and I can't take a crap. And I'm like wondering, is this something that's normal? Will it go away, or
was this your first time?
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I have an important question. Well, where did you go to finishing school?
What?
He means the dialogue. He means he's talking about.
My asshole is on fire, and the stool is red like the devil. How freaky is Kelly? Is she a little scary sounding?
Didn't Napoleon blow his bone apart?
You know what I love about all Jews? They all have a corny sense of humor. Even the porn stars do. They all. Remember we had Rabbi Shmuley in here? The guy's a goddamn rabbi. He cracks more horrible jokes an hour than any toy I've ever done.
I got a bunch. Dr. Drew, the advice for
Ron cracks.
The advice for her, would it be, could she sit on ice cubes? Well, what does a girl do? Like Sam Kinison used to have a joke. If a girl was sore from anal sex, well, honey, can I get you a Band-Aid or something? I mean, that was just a joke. What actually could she do? Would it be like just sit on ice cubes?
No, you get some Anusol cream. That will help it out.
I have a second question.
Oh, shut up
Can I
and
answer
let
your
us
first one?
Oh,
Okay.
Kelly, you must be so hot.
Listen to me.
Are you hot?
Yes, of course I am.
You gotta be, because you're just such a pain in the ass.
Listen to me.
Now shut up.
Okay.
I'm done with
Did
you.
it feel? I wonder if it felt good. Did she enjoy the anal sex?
No, listen.
Anusol cream, hot bath, and if it keeps bleeding, she actually has to go to the hospital. Because this can be quite serious. The bleeding can be brisk. You can bleed to death from this.
I can see it being dangerous. I mean, guys should be gentle when it's a girl's first time, for gosh sake.
Yeah.
See, Ron Jeremy's telling you
What
that.
kind of lube
You
do you
gotta
like
be.
there, Ron?
In fact, I've given, that's actually something I'm actually, I think, pretty versed in. I like, well, hospitals seem to like KY a lot. I like Astroglide. Years ago, I used to use Abilene, believe it or not, which is like a makeup remover, but it was good. That new stuff, Ice, or A1 it's called, whatever.
That's steak sauce.
I find, no. I find, Dr. Drew, what I've found, when a girl's doing her first one, and they're a little bit nervous and stuff, always make it where the gravity works with you, not against you. I love these first-time directors when a girl says she's a little afraid of making a bit of a mess, and they have her do the girl on top position.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You go with gravity. You let her put her elbows to the ground,
Right.
and her rear end propped way up in the air. So it's the highest gravity, highest form of gravity. They're up in the hill.
Toward
and the
Mecca.
guy goes straight down.
All right.
That way, and then, it's a little, and it goes very slow. And lets the girl do the moving, not the guy. Let
Right.
the girl do the movement. And I find that they go little itty bitty little strokes. They can work out okay for a first time.
Hey, how much of that's going on in porn these days?
It's big. Europe.
man
It's huge
thing?
in Europe. I mean, because of the European influence, and since it seems to sell so well, that they try to have every movie with at least some of that in there.
Do you ever think about what that is? What motivates people to do that, Ron?
I have always seen it as a European influence. I mean, basically, an American movie made today.
It's not like holding your pinky out when you hold a teacup. I mean, there must be some sort of powerful drive to do that.
On behalf of the consumer?
The man. Why are men so into that?
Philosophically.
A lot of guys really like it. I mean,
Forget about porn. Just what is the male's unrelenting drive toward that part of a
that is
female?
a fat. Maybe because it's
that's the
tighter.
question.
Maybe because after the woman's had a child, maybe it's tighter, Dr. Drew? I don't know.
No. These are young guys are into it, and the women are.
I wish I knew. I do. When I'm in Europe and I've done films over there, I see these young guys much more than here in America who really, really like that, and I don't understand. Italian guys, Greek guys.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm telling you, I'm being serious.
Well, the
it's
Greek
not a
guys,
joke.
yeah.
And in fact, Greek guys will admit it. They really like. I've known, and Dr. Drew, this is a true story. This is no lie. I've known. Like, I live in Queens. I'm born and raised in Queens, and in Astoria was a large Greek population. And a lot of the girls there would want to save their husbands the cherry. They wouldn't have vaginal sex till they're
we
married.
hear that a lot.
But they would do the anal sex. So I can imagine on a honeymoon night, the girl says to the husband, I have the good news and the bad news.
Right.
I saved my cherry for you. Great. Been 100 sailors up my keister. What?
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
I'm
true.
a virgin.
And as
I'm a
bizarre
virgin.
as that is.
Yeah.
And I go, is your husband going to like to hear this?
Write that down, by the way. The 100 sailors up McKeester. That could be that could be number 751 for you. Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
You're 30.
Yeah. I'm calling from San Jose. Is this Adam?
Yep.
Dude, you rule. I had a question for Ron, actually.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, I wanted to know what Ron thinks of Rocco Siffredi.
He is a perfect example of a guy who just loves the back door also. He's Italian. He's a good guy. And again, he's good. He's a very good performer. He's probably the king of Europe. He's the best known performer out of Europe.
Is he big out here?
He's actually pretty well known here too. He's come out here to do some films. We're similar as far as size. I think I'm a little longer. He's a little thicker.
Sure.
That matters, And he's thin. He's in great shape, and he's a very good looking guy. And he's doing it for years. He produces his own stuff.
I can't believe Adam doesn't know this guy.
Adam knows who he is. Adam knows Rocco.
No, I would recognize his penis, I'm sure.
No, you would definitely recognize his films, though, because, he gets into some pretty extreme stuff.
Well, so let me
The
tell you
European
something.
stuff is stronger. What's interesting, too, is I had said on Love Lines years ago that Dr. Drew is that, in Europe, the men make the choices, and the men, the scenes are a little rougher. And whereas in America, the girls make the choices.
What do you mean the choices?
The men can choose the girls they work with in Europe.
Oh,
in
wow.
America, the girl chooses the guys. A girl can replace any guy in any set here in America.
Really?
In Europe, a man can replace a woman on a set. That's true story.
Now-
And the scenes are always rougher and stronger. In fact, in Europe, they call our movies white bread because they're just so tame.
Yeah.
What do you mean stronger? What does that mean?
Nastier anal scenes, more, like Rocco, they're a little more spitting. So they do that here, too, in some movies. But
I wanted to bring that up.
a little more spitting, smacking. You see the more gaping, and they use that, out of Europe.
Look, I don't want to appear to be old-fashioned, but the long stream of saliva onto the dork, what am I supposed to do with that?
Well, that's what Rocco's specialty is, doing the saliva line right into the gape.
Not a huge fan. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that.
My friends always ask me that. What's the great thing about the inside of a girl's colon that people like to have that gape? I don't know. I never can figure that out either, but it seems to be a draw. I don't know.
I think I do know this guy. What this guy is, he's basically a proctologist with a saliva problem. I mean, this guy opens these women up like a can of corn, and then he does this long saliva drip.
That's his favorite shot.
It's repugnant.
It's a free spray. He does that on his box covers.
This guinea right in the nuts. Well, what I'm saying is you ever see a guy like
stride, Adam?
Absolutely. You know when you're like on a schoolyard and there'd be that one kid who'd do that long string of saliva and let it hang down his mouth.
Lungi. It was called a lungi.
Yeah, then he'd suck it back out. And it was like, you just look at it and you go, Jesus Christ, I can't eat now. That's disgusting. Why do I got to see that with the guy's pants down while I'm beating off?
The guy who's on the phone, what's his name, the guy on the phone?
Screw him.
I mean, you've seen Rocco do that, right?
Hold on, where is he?
He's gone. Oh, yeah, that's Rocco.
All right. You kick that Rocco in the nuts when you see him. Tell him it's from me. There's all this spitting and the women spitting and the whole. Drew, there's this whole thing that's going on where it's not even the spit. It's the bridge of saliva that goes from the area to the person's mouth. A woman will be giving a guy oral. She'll pull away.
Yeah, it's called a stringer.
And she'll pull away up to, 12, 14 inches. I'm not exaggerating.
I know, they do that. That's true, they do that.
As far away as you would hold a coffee mug in front of you if you were raising a toast to somebody.
Sure, yeah, they do that all the time.
And there's this long suspension bridge of saliva between the guy's dork and her mouth.
I don't mind this so much when a girl does it. I just don't like this thing a guy...
and that does what?
I don't. No, here's what it does.
It looks like it's such a slobbering oral experience while they do that.
Here's what it's
some guys find that exciting,
First off, it makes me think of disease, and that's the last thing I want to think of when I'm thinking of porn. But here's what's going on in general, and here's what I have a problem with, and here's why I'm a little bit old school. They've upped the ante to the point where they've gotten out of sex and just into yuck. They up the ante.
The market is saturated. They have to think of new things to do.
But my point is, okay, I understand that you have to keep upping the ante sexually. But when you get beyond sex and now the guy's just on her, that's not sex anymore.
And that's more Europe. There's not too much of that happens in America.
It's just because you're nude, don't make it sexual.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
And I'm all right with all the hardcore stuff.
I'm not a fan of it, but I understand it. And again, urinating is also, you don't see that in too many American movies. That's also European. Well, that's what I call European footage. European, he's a peeing, she's a peeing. Sorry, I did it again, guys. Sorry, couldn't help that. Sorry.
God bless you.
It leaked out.
Oh, not again.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Ron, I want you to think, and I know you get this question asked all the time, but when we come back, I want you to tell me who your favorite starlet to work with, even if it was just one time.
Tabitha Stevens. I don't even hesitate on that one.
Really?
She's also very much featured in my documentary.
All right.
Yeah, we get along great because she's a doll. Right. There's some amount of chemistry, and she's just sweet, and she really, it's always a turn on when the scene is over and the director says cut, and the girl is going, hold on a minute, mister. Because she seems to enjoy it, and she's got such a great shape. She has like such a small little, she could be in the business for so many years. She's got a virginal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's hot, and
we get along. We're friends.
You know what I love about her too is she's one of these people, Tabitha Stevens, who was Bewitched. Elizabeth Montgomery's daughter, and Buffy Davis, I had to figure out later, was in Family Affair, and then
the names they use.
Then there's Frank James. See, sometimes they don't pick the stars; they pick the secondary. It wasn't Jesse James; it was Frank James.
Tony Montana. He uses these names.
Right.
Scarface.
Okay, but this is great radio, Ron. When we come back, we're going to find Ron's third favorite starlet to work.
I got a list.
All right, we'll save it because I want to know where Christy Canyon is on that.
She's up there.
List. Don't give her space away.
Got it.
All right, we'll be back with legendary adult film actor Ron Jeremy after this.
Hey, I'm Ken Jordan.
And I'm Scott Kirkland, and we are the Crystal Method.
And you're listening to Loveline with Ace Rockola
and the brilliant Dr. Drew.
Yes, you is. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Ron Jeremy is our guest tonight. Legendary adult film actor. Probably, I would say, the most recognizable face in porn. But male or female at this point, quite frankly, because women get hot, but they burn bright, but they burn
careers
fast.
Last a lot longer.
Yes.
Women can make the big bucks, you know. The girls, I think it was Jenna Jameson said on a late night talk show she'd already put in a few million away in the bank.
Really?
She said it. She's been in business only like 5-6 years. I mean, the girls can make a contract girl, like girls who work for Metro contracts. They can make from $100,000 to $250,000 a year. And the average guy can make $30,000 to $40,000 a year.
That's it. Really?
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, unless
no lie. Like, and a scene, a contract girl maybe makes $60,000 a year for 6 to 10 scenes. She's making from $6,000 to $10,000 in the movie. The guy that's working with her is making $300 a scene or $400 a scene.
Wow.
Maybe 5 or 6 if he's a known actor. Maybe a couple $100 with some multiple partners. I'm telling you, the difference is amazing. So guys have to work 20 years to make the same thing girl makes in 4, you know?
Yeah, no, what about you? I mean, will people give you a few bucks to get your name on the package?
My big draw is on the road, is doing the autographs and, representing a company like Metro on the road at video stores, nightclubs, topless clubs, doing a comedy show. Also,
speaking to youth groups.
That too, college groups. No, but or the marketing, these rolling papers, the T-shirts. My name is on porn star T-shirts,
Right.
So that kind of stuff is where it adds up, and the directing adds up. But acting itself, no, and porn, no. The mainstream stuff is paid better.
Well, speaking of porn star, The Legend of Ron Jeremy, Porn Star is the name of the film. It is out at the New Art in L.A. tomorrow night, and also in New York. And it's a documentary. And does it start on you early in life and just go all the way through to present?
Yes. Who looks really good is my dad, who's in it. And he shot with his Bolex camera. It was so well lit. You could see me when I was age 5, 10, 12. They had bar mitzvah shots of me.
Who were you?
My dad was an amazing cameraman. It's crystal clear. People looked at it and said, they've seen True Hollywood Stories that didn't have such good footage of famous actors. My dad knew how to shoot. Steady hand. Great shots of me and my sister and brother when we were little.
Wow, I always love that. Always makes me want to kill my parents, though, when I see this stuff. I see, like, footage of guys from the 40s and 50s, and I think, Jesus Christ, I was a kid in the 70s. There's not a yard of film on me.
I was born in 53, and people are amazed how clear the footage is, and it was blown up to widescreen, too.
All right. Yeah. Well, hey, you don't have a copy of that with you, do you?
Over here?
Yeah.
No, actually, we don't. No.
Jeez, all you got's your penis. I got that latex penis.
That's all I'm good for.
Another one?
No, that's all I got.
He's the one that's flesh and blood.
I get no movies. I get no nothing. I get no Minka videos. I just get his penis.
No, I gotta bring you some stuff.
Yeah,
we came right from the airport. We were doing press in San Francisco. I was in New York doing the Barbara Walters thing, and then we went.
The View?
The View. I was on the View. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I just came straight here. Went to San Francisco from New York, and just came off the plane about an hour ago.
How did Barbara sort of prepare for the interview?
She said in the beginning of the show, and it was cute, that she wasn't really too keen on having me there, but the 4 ladies outvoted her, although she's the owner of the show, and decided to have me on. And the star was cute, because Star says, they all saw the documentary, and they all liked it, and the star said, he seems like just a nice guy. We don't want to like him, because we don't really like that business, but seems like a nice guy. He seems like a brother-in-law. So I went on, the first thing I said to her when I got on the panel was, I'd be your brother-in-law any day, and trying to get goofy with him and stuff, and, that kind of, from what the people tell me is, I didn't win them over, but I eased them a little. I diffused them a little bit. Well, they have these preconceived notions that, what a person would be like from this industry. And all the ladies on the panel, especially the Asian lady, I think, and Bihar, Joy, the lady who's actually, I think they were a little bit easier. I think I smoothed them and schmoozed them a little bit, let's say, Well,
Ron's a very affable guy, and he's the clown prince of pornography. So, all right.
Replayed the footage was a very well-known morning DJ replayed the footage, the audio from that this morning. And he actually said I should have shown them my you-know-what and bopped it on their heads, Howard said that, swear to God.
Hit him with your scepter. Drew, you got a call worked out here?
I can't read line 1 and 4.
All right. Well, let's go pick another one then. Or you want to take 1 or 4?
No, it's fine.
All right. John?
Hey.
You're 17?
Yeah, it was a little weird. My brother, earlier this year, not earlier this year, but since my little sisters were really little, he's been like, he was molesting him and stuff, and like doing sexual things with him, obviously.
He was, wait, how many siblings do you have?
What?
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 little sisters.
And you have an older brother?
And I have 3 older brothers, but the one just above me, like he's 19.
And he's the one that's been doing this to the younger girls?
Yeah, since they've been really, really little.
Both of them.
Are you all from the same mom and dad?
Yeah.
And
did you tell someone about this?
My little sisters came to me, like, earlier this year, because he's been doing it for, like, 8 years.
To both of them.
For what?
Wow.
What? To both of them.
Yeah, to both of them.
And how old are they now?
They're now, one of the older ones, like, she's 14, and the younger one's 9. Like, she just turned 10 last month, so now she's 10.
Oh, okay. And they booted him out of the house?
Well, like, they came to me just earlier this year, it was about February, and they told me, and I told my parents.
Right.
And they went through LDS Family Services, which is a bunch of bull crap, but, yeah. They didn't do much about it. They took him through counsel. Like, he has to do mandatory counseling, and he had to do some community service. But now they're letting him move back in the house.
Oh, boy.
And
that's a mistake.
He's cured, huh?
He's, yeah. Oh, yeah. You get that right out of your system after 8 years. That's how it works. And he's 19 years old.
Yeah, he's 19 years old.
And does he have emotional problems? I mean, should he be on medication?
He's like emotional problems, like with girls. Like he's had really, really, really bad acne for a really long time, and so he hasn't been a hit with the ladies.
Why doesn't he get that treated?
I don't like I guess he has, but like he wants the medication to work like overnight or something, and so he gets discouraged and he gives up.
Okay.
And
what about your older brothers, the ones that are older than this guy? Are they still in the house?
One is living with us because he's married and he has a kid, and my mom's in a wheelchair, and so they help out with my mom and stuff to move.
Why is she in a wheelchair?
She has multiple sclerosis.
Okay. Hold on. Let's all just close our eyes for a second and be thankful we're not living in that house.
Okay.
Holy Christ. I would rather live in a Cuisinart with a badger.
Exactly.
I really would. I'd be more comfortable. I could sleep better, I think. Jesus Christ. John? All right, let me just say a couple things.
All right. There's blocks on the girls' doors, number one. Right?
Yeah, well, they're going to put some kind of alarm system on, but, like, I was like...
Do you think you could kick this guy's ass if you needed to?
Probably not, because I'm 5'10" and 140 pounds, and he's, like, 6'2", and...
You pansy!
Yeah, well, what about your older brother?
He's actually his good friend.
But he certainly doesn't condone this, does he?
No, but they're really, really, like, I'm the only one that's not. Like, they're really, 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 I guess you could say hardcore Mormons. And so, like, they all forgive him. And,
for real? They really are Mormons?
Yeah, my family's Mormon. Like, I'm the only one that doesn't go to church.
Jesus Christ.
Like, one brother's on a mission in Mexico, so he doesn't even know about any of this.
Yeah. I haven't read The Watchtower in a while, but what about banging your sisters? Is there some chapter in there on that, or?
What about what?
What?
This is real life taboo. Hey, John?
Hey, what?
Here's the deal.
All right.
You sound like the only sane one in that entire family.
Exactly. That's
okay. All right. So let me explain your mission in life.
All right.
Your mission is to not crank out any kids in the next 10 years and get yourself into this, anchored down with this crappy lifestyle. Get your grades up in school and go far, far away to college, like somewhere in China or something. I mean,
I'm thinking about going to California.
Just get the F out of there. I don't even know how you got, I don't know how you were born to this circus family, but this is a disaster.
What are the girls like? How are the girls taking all this?
They're kind of, I don't know, my parents have kind of brainwashed them with this whole religion thing. Said, he's repented and he's like righteousness.
What are their ages again?
14 and 9 or 10.
Wow, it's just awful.
And can't this guy at 19? I mean, I moved out at 19. Yeah. Everyone moves out at 19.
I turn 18.
And you're a fine, upstanding member of society.
Certainly, as far as you know.
Well, I guess it's okay for them to forgive him.
In May, and that's when I'm moving out with them.
All right, just, look, get out of there, and meanwhile, keep a watchful eye on those sisters, and oh, my God.
Is he still on?
No.
I wonder if he believes that the guy is fairly cured, because we don't really buy it.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't buy it either, yeah.
No. Well, yeah, but wait a minute. He says it's now, it's got the...
What?
He's Mormon, so he's got to be cured, right? Right? All right.
Is that how it works?
No.
Okay.
No, that's a disaster. That's a horrible religion. That whole religion's a mess. You know, one of the problems with religion that I hate is when people are in bona fide wackos, instead of doing the real work, which is doing some therapy, really hunkering down and doing the tough work of therapy, they just slide into the religion a little deeper, and that's going to take care of everything.
Yep. Yeah. There's one thing worse than, of course, the Mormon. Radical extremist Islam.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess
we're having a problem with that right now.
I guess at this point, that's a very good point. All right, let's say hi to
on line 1.
No.
Okay.
Line 1 is gone. Let's talk to Jason, who's 17.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
All right, this is my problem. I fantasize like about having sex with men, and I watch gay pornography, and I've had sex with another man before.
How old are you?
Age.
17.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Try not to talk to the callers around and confuse us. Go ahead, Jason. Sorry about that, big man.
That's all right. And I don't know, like I've now, like when I had the sexual experience with another man, it was a very young age, like before 10 years old.
Well, that was sexual abuse. That's not a sexual experience.
No, because it wasn't with it wasn't with a man. It was with
man-child,
another kid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's still likely to have been sexual abuse.
Well, how old was the kid? Your age?
Yeah.
All right. So keep going.
All right, and I wonder if I'm straight or not.
Well, here's the deal. To me, if you're watching gay porn, you're gay. Uh-oh, Mama?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, all right?
Uh-oh. This is one of the more uncomfortable parts of the job. It really is.
So it cinches the diagnosis, though, doesn't it,
Yeah. Overbearing mom always turns a guy gay.
Hello?
Ballbuster mom makes you gay.
Who's that lady in the background? Is that your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You tell that hag to get back on her broom.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
And fly to Salem.
All
right. Look, if you, here's the deal. Why, you don't have to declare. You're 17. If you like guys at this point, you like guys. You don't have to give yourself a label.
Well, see, the thing is that I really, I don't know, I can't see myself having, sex with another man.
But
that first experience.
Yeah. But I still, fantasize and whatnot.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay, so there's
like that
confusion.
First experience, that's the first, that early abuse sort of scrambled him, and now he can't quite get the wiring right. He doesn't really feel that he's biologically gay. He's got sort of some impulses maybe from that early arousal experience. But,
so what's the plan?
I don't know what he can do to change this. He just sit and stand by. See how this goes as he matures.
Does he also watch heterosexual porn to get excited?
Let's ask him. Jason?
Yeah?
You watch any hetero porn?
Oh, yes, I do.
And which excites you more?
Both, really, I get the same excitement level.
Yeah, well, there's a penis.
Do you fantasize, when you're looking at two men, are you fantasize of being at either one direction as the giver or taker?
The giver.
You fantasize more being the giver?
Yeah.
Why is that important, Ron?
Well, it's interesting because I'm saying the degrees, aren't there?
I'm guessing. I'm with Ron, and I think what Ron's saying is if you're the taker, you're gayer.
Well, some people say that. Also, you take a bigger disease risk, I guess.
But I mean, is a giver? Well, who the hell knows?
It's hard to say. I mean,
it's called the receiver.
Oh, the receiver.
Yeah.
the banger and the bangy. Look, here's the deal. You should be completely disgusted by gay pornography if you're straight. You really should. It should be.
Ron?
It should be
How
disgusting.
I couldn't get a lift off for it. I wouldn't be able to, See, I have the one advantage of I got the ugliest behind in town. Gay guys wouldn't want me.
Yeah.
You know, they'd look at me and say, just say no to crack. You know?
That is a great strategy.
They'd rather inhale anthrax.
They did some gay porn in the late 70s.
No, but actually, it is an interesting viewpoint, because I wonder, you know, I used to find out when a guy, Dr. Drew too, if a guy has a certain, like, amazing fondness for doing a girl in the rear end and nowhere else.
Yeah.
Or guys who'll say they like large-sized things up theirs. I find that has a little bit of a gay tendency, don't you?
Yeah. Well, the guy doing the
prostate exam, you know.
No, I don't know. The point is if you're watching gay porn, I'm labeling you gay because when
bisexual, you know.
Or bi. When I watch gay porn, I shiver. Like I get that. Blah. I really would. I'd rather.
How many times a week are you watching?
3 or 4. I'd rather watch a polo match played with my dad's head as the ball.
God.
To quote Sam Kinison,
I really would
say, to quote the late great comedian Sam Kinison, you know, if you're straight, you look at a man's hairy behind and you just want to give it a shave. You don't want to do anything to it, you know.
Right.
That's the difference. You fall to your knees and give thanks, not head. You know, that kind of thing. You know?
Yeah. Well, anyway, look, Jason doesn't have to figure it out. That's what we're saying. Take the pressure
my
off.
advice to him would be, Dr. Drew, is that look at what entertains you and enjoy whatever you're watching. And if like you said, stand by and see which direction you want to go when I guess you get older.
Right.
But he shouldn't be made to feel guilty for either one, I assume, right?
No, that's right.
No.
I don't think his mom will have a certain slant, but, you know.
No, he's fine.
It's interesting how there's a sense, though, that it's really not him, that it's something that's sort of a part of him, but it really isn't incorporated in him wholly yet.
But he shouldn't be afraid to enjoy either or, you know.
No. He'll be fine unless there's a God. We got to take ourselves a little bit of break. Ron Jeremy is our guest tonight, legendary adult film actor. Done more than any of them, except for that goddamn Tommy, what's his name? Byron, with the big calf.
I think I've done more films than he's done.
Yeah, I think you have too. All right, we'll be right back. Hey, everybody, Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. Our guest tonight, legendary adult film actor, Ron Jeremy. Ron was just asked me off the air, Drew, if you got any tail on the side, like when we travel and hit the road and that kind of stuff.
Because one thing that you guys get, you've been doing this for so many years, and girls find it a real turn on to be with a guy who's a doctor, and he's comforting, he knows his stuff, and there's a certain, success type of thing. Yeah. You both are very, pleasant-looking fellows.
Oh, thanks.
So, look at this. You know, something thinking of plugging my movie. I got to be, So, we're all going to make a film, Romeo and Julio, So I was wondering if the girls actually, if he goes for that kind of stuff, and if the celebrityhood gets to be fun after a while. I've seen you guys over the years.
I'll tell you truthfully about Drew, and stop me if I'm lying here, Drew. He has never screwed around. He will not have sex with strange women on the road. He has no problem with getting a
you're a happily married man, Dr. Drew, but now, do you ever get tempted at all?
No. He can't even admit that.
I look, but I would never do that to my wife and kids. I just couldn't imagine doing that.
Right.
Can you, I have a very strange lifestyle, and again, you are just like my family, Dr. Drew, my brother, my family. There's no divorces in the whole family, and it's a very monogamous family. But I've often seen cases where, you can be emotionally monogamous, and this is not your lifestyle. Maybe it's more mine, of course. Where you can be emotionally monogamous, not necessarily with the genitalia.
Yeah.
Where, I'd be more upset if a girlfriend would say to me that I'm taking a walk in the mountaintop with a guy, or we're going snorkeling together, bike riding, or having dinner together, or cuddling, rather than just simply having a quick little nookie and it's goodbye, never see him again kind of thing.
Yeah, and it must be. It really must look different from where you sit. You know what I mean? Having experienced what you experienced.
You talking about hell? Where Ron is?
He's a different life.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what I know is that if you really have an intimate relationship, being with another person diminishes that intimacy. It just does.
Yes, it can.
All right, but I'm with Ron in that having a little computer pal, phone sex, or, cyber sex friend, it probably diminishes it more than a BJ in the back of a limo with some drunken Canadian prostitute when you're on the road.
You keep trying to talk me into that one.
Yeah,
how about if a guy's a husband on the road, let's say they're apart for a month at a time, and they both do something quick and fast and there's no emotion, it doesn't really threaten the relationship any, whereas if I see guys say, oh, she's just dating this guy, he's a friend, so that could be worse.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of that, wait a minute, let's, Daniel's has a secret email question. Daniel?
Hello?
Hey, you're 35.
Yes.
You read your girlfriend's email secretly, found out she's fantasizing about a guy.
Yes, these actually go back earlier this year.
Who's she corresponding with?
A work colleague. They met at a at a work convention earlier this year.
Are these?
What do you mean it's a fantasy? She's actually having a relationship with him.
No, they met at this convention and have just been corresponding via email since. They haven't seen each other since that.
And are these things sexually graphic, or are they just chatter?
A little bit more charged by her side than his. I read all the emails, and he seems more reluctant than she does.
Oh, my God. Was your heart just pounding as you read those things?
Yeah.
Did you get a good vengeance whack off, too? That'd be my angle. I'd be angry, and I'd get a little vengeance whack.
No, actually, I was planning to do that.
Take it out of my penis, yeah.
I had a good one ready to go that night, and I just lost it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, listen, now, how long you been with her?
3 years.
3 years. Were you planning on getting married?
Yes.
Okay, so...
I think I still am.
Okay. No, it can be done. It can be done. Well, hold on a second now. We got to go to break.
Maybe this is her. A lot of women have these flings just before they get married. You know what I mean? They have to get something out of their system real quick before they get married.
Yeah, and maybe this is that. But this is just what we were talking about. And Ron was saying she'd rather this guy boff her once while she was at some convention in Orlando and come back free and clear,
or
than carry on the whole
down
relationship.
The block who you go to the movies together, or no, we don't have sex. We just go to movies, go bowling, we have dinners together. I think that's really worse in the long run than just making one little noise and never seeing them again. I think as corny as it might sound,
Ron, don't ever make that noise again on this show.
I apologize. I get bleeped.
All right, we'll take ourselves a little break. I'm going to see if I can get Ron to make that during the commercial break, make that noise. And we'll be right back, and we'll finish up with Daniel after this. Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew over there. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Ron Jeremy is our guest tonight. Legendary adult film actor, director. Does a fair amount of straight stuff these days as well. And he's here tonight plugging his documentary, which he's the star of now.
Opens up in theaters tomorrow night. At the New Art Theater.
How big a hand did you have in making this?
They followed me around for about 2.5 years, and there was no pressure. Wow. It was a relaxed schedule, and he got to the whole family, and he got to my old school, Queens College. I mean, so he went into depth. He got from basically age 5 on, discussing what went on in my life and things that I did. And
he approached you.
They came to me, and I originally said no. I said, no way.
Why?
Because I know how true Hollywood stories are, those things, And, it never really helps a career, and I realized that they always discover skeletons in the closet. Then I realized that I didn't have any. He said, I never had a drinking problem, alcohol, or a drug problem, and I only have one little skeleton. I get 23 years of adult movies.
Right.
It's kind of a woolly mammoth skeleton, isn't it? So I figured, and there wasn't much to really, and I had a lot of fun things people have always found interesting. The teacher, the family of veterans. I have war heroes in my family. Especially now, what's going on today. I mean, I even carry this, I've been wearing that flag on my pinky ring for years.
Right.
Not just because it's in style now. My mom was in the OSS, which became the CIA. Yeah.
Really?
She spoke fluent German and French when she was, back in the 40s, and she was in the first graduating class of Queens College. So she worked for during World War II. My mother flew all over the world as a decoder, as a cryptographer, and they even gave her an honorary rank of lieutenant in case she was ever caught or captured. She'd get respect. Then she came down with Parkinson's disease. That's in the documentary as well, which is now getting a lot of attention with Janet Reno and Michael J. Fox. And she was one of the very first guinea pigs to be experimented with the cryogenic surgery. Where they're using cold probes, and they don't do it anymore either, Dr. Drew. She was the first operation worked, the second one was bad. But she was always a very courageous woman, and she went through it, and then eventually took away her life.
When did she pass away?
When I think it was around 20, I'd been in the business for about a year, about 22 years ago.
Now, would she have objected to this more than
I asked my dad that, and I've always asked my dad. He says, she had great expressions, and again, a lot of this is in a documentary. She said that, Ronnie dances to a different drummer, because I have such a very professional family, all monogamous, all doctors, everyone's got a PhD and master's degrees in my family. It's East Coast family. And she always said that Ronnie dances to a different drummer. She was always called into school because I was always trying to be the class clown. Teachers would say that, Ronnie's a smart boy, but just make him shut up. I was always kind of what you always think to me too, Adam.
Yeah, except for the smart. I don't call you smart. Just say shut up.
Just shut up. Tell this idiot to shut his face. So all this stuff was in there in the documentary. People find it very interesting. I had a cousin who actually was a war hero. I mean, he died a hero and was given a Purple Heart and a Medal of Honor from FDR. So a lot of that stuff's in World War II. Yeah.
Which campaign was he involved with?
The German Battle of the Bulge.
FDR gave him the Medal of Honor, Adam, after the Desert Storm.
Hey, jackass! I want to know if he was in the Pacific fighting the Japs or in Europe.
My dad
against the crowd.
Most of my family, my dad,
dare you?
My dad and most of my uncles were fighting the Japanese front because most American men were doing that. But he actually a very interesting story too is that at that time Jews weren't getting a lot of officer training school. He was a sergeant, as was my dad, and he purposely wore a cross. And it worked. He got into the officer training school, became a lieutenant, and I think I was almost going to be a captain. Then he was a pilot. He flew over the Battle of the Bulge, landed the plane to pick up some wounded Americans, was shot by a sniper, died, was buried under the cross in Belgium. Then my aunts brought him back to America and buried him under the Star of David. So it's a fascinating story. So there's a lot of interesting things. Some of that did not get in. That's in the DVD. Now, a lot of that didn't get into the film version because it was a cousin. Well, the director said there was too much on the periphery. He did shoot the Purple Heart and the Medal of Honor. He did shoot that, and it will be in the DVD, but that's not in the film. But my mom, stuff about her is in the film. About her experiences during the war, and my whole family's all veterans except me and my brother.
Jesus Christ.
We were in the Vietnam era, and that we didn't think was a good war. So.
How am I going to jack off to this, though? I mean, that's really what's going through my mind.
Well, there's a lot of sexy girls to jack off to.
That's good. And
there's a lot of adult stuff in there, too, of course.
Now what about some of the starlets that you worked with back when, 20 years ago? Did any of them get interviewed today?
Yes. There are some girls from the old days that are in there, yes. They did,
what are they doing now?
Not the ones who are necessarily in the documentary, but Vanessa Del Rio is now doing bodybuilding. Samantha Fox is a phys ed instructor in New York. Annette Haven, I believe, is going to computer school. I think is happily married. Seika lives in Chicago with a really great guy. She married this really good guy, and she has her mail order. I mean, and a lot of them are living very happy, healthy, doing fine. And the girls today who are under contract are making so much money, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
With their websites, like a lot of girls, like for Asia Carrera, for example, they make so much money on her website, she only has to do a couple of films a year. And other girls do these appearances on the road, like Jenna does, or the Blondage girls, and they make a lot of money on the road doing their feature dancing and appearances.
Jesus.
It's a big business for a lot of these girls, I'm telling you.
In a way...
and there's no guys, no middlemen. It's just you and the consumer with a webmaster, and that's it.
Couldn't you could almost liken it to what a lot of the old athletes say, which is they weren't making the big bucks, getting the big contracts back when. I mean,
but now, yeah.
But now, what these? I mean, I wonder if some of these women, and I know Seika's probably made.
I worked for a lot of women, like at Metro, where I work. The general manager was a woman. I was listening to her. She was booking me on shoots. I mean, Candida Royale runs her own company. I mean, when the feminists keep complaining how this is a man's business, a lot of the bosses are the women nowadays.
Yeah, and they get paid 10 times as much.
Yeah.
James?
Yeah.
You have a question for Ron?
Yeah, I was just wondering if he ever worked with John Holmes. And what it was like if he did.
We were in a lot of the same movies together. We used to have jokes. He used to call me little penis because he's 11 3/4 and I'm 9 3/4. I used to say, John, I hit bottom. Where are you going to go? With you, it's not sex. It's a pap smear. But we did a bunch of films together. We did a lot of movies together. I don't actually even once in the same scene with a girl named Drea. Bill Margold's ex-girlfriend. We actually did a scene. We did a threesome with a girl.
What? He didn't seem like Mr. Personality, John Holmes.
No, he used to. If you look at his documentary too, which I think the E! Channel did a thing, and a guy named Cass did a documentary with him for VCA. He lied a lot. He did some really horrible things. Like they even say in the documentary that he was a rat. He was working with the police. No one knew it. He was busting shoots that he wasn't in. He would steal luggage off of at airports. If he needed money, he would steal someone's luggage.
He might go down to LAX and just steal luggage.
They say he did that. He also did that. He also got involved in some serious drugs. Again,
that's all drug addict behavior.
Yeah, and again, Sam made this very funny joke about him saying, the man claims he had sex with 20,000 women. He switches to heroin and gay sex. It's what we call bad career management, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
and he died the day before my birthday, which is interesting. Actually, the day of my birthday, really.
He died in prison, right?
No, he came out, and he died of intestinal cancer in a hospital. You know, he died the night of March 11th, and I was born on March 12th in the morning.
He had AIDS, though, didn't he?
Yes, he died of intestinal cancer brought about by AIDS. Yes.
And this guy, remember that whole Laurel Canyon massacre that went on?
Yeah, the Wonderland. Yeah, right. He was involved in some serious murders with a bunch of people, either as an accessory. And there's been some talk, you know, according to some of the police, he may have actually himself been bludgeoning one of the people. So not a good guy.
Yeah, the whole story with that, or at least the way everyone thought it went down, is he knew something and he didn't want to say anything because the guys who did this would do this to him, and just a crazy.
He got involved in bad drug deals. I mean, he'd put groups against each other and be stuck in the middle. And then when a group wants to retaliate, go, well, now you bring us to them so we can retaliate. And he was caught in the middle, and he just made a lot of dumb moves.
Yeah, I don't think he was a real genius. But how
he was a nice guy on sets. I mean, we got along. He was nice to me. We used to make jokes about it. I mean, but you know, he just had these severe problems.
All right, so James.
Yeah.
Never, one scene with him, actually. Yeah. And
what was the name of that movie?
Yeah, what was the name of that movie? Do you remember?
Well, the one I know we did together was called W Pink TV. It was me, John Holmes, and Harry Reams. And it was funny skits. In fact, the guy who directed that film directed a very big TV series called Night at the Improv, so it was actually mainstream directors.
Wait, was Christy Canyon in that movie? I got that movie.
And Ali Moore.
Sure.
It's John Holmes, Harry Reams, and myself were in it. It was a great little movie. And then me and John, we did another film for...
Hey, you play newscaster.
Yes.
Yeah, except for there's this one great scene where he's wearing a sport jacket, a tie, and a collar, and then they pan down and he's swinging his penis around like a jump rope.
We also did a film for Hollywood Video for Hal Freeman called The Valley Girls and Taking It to the Max. Me and John Holmes were in that one together. And then
the Valley Girls, I've seen that.
Another one was a Carlos Tobalina film. I forgot the name of it, where it was me, him, and Drea.
Well, wait a minute. I don't remember John Holmes from the W Pink TV.
He was in it.
All right.
He's on the box cover also.
Yeah. Line 4, Adam. 4.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm sorry. Just waxing poetic, taking a walk down memory lane.
Whacking poetic.
Taking a whack down memory lane with Ron Jeremy. W Pink TV, yeah.
Line 4.
Funny film.
Yeah. Delight. Oh, okay. Well, a puckish satire, Drew. Stephanie?
Yep, that's me.
You're 22. What's up?
I am an addict. I've been an opiate addict for 4 years. In the past 6 months, I've gotten into heroin. Before that, it was Oxycontins and Percocets.
Right.
I very much am ready to stop. I want to get into a program, thinking like a 30-day program. I used to see a psychiatrist that my mom still sees.
Did that psychiatrist know you were using?
No.
No. All right. Well, you got to go.
He knew I was a marijuana user when I was 13, but nothing big, no.
All right, so you got to get in a program, right?
You got to go, and be prepared to go to Sober Living to follow that. You got to go. It's going to take some time, and it's going to be hard work, and you're going to do it.
How is your health besides that?
Yeah, I'm healthy besides that. How long do you think it'll be until I can get into a program? Like, how quickly do they get you into these programs?
Do you have insurance?
Yeah.
You could call. In fact, I would urge you, go tonight. Call if there's a psychiatric hospital or a psychiatric unit nearby that has a chemical dependency program. Go now. Because you'll find a reason not to go tomorrow and not the next day. When you're ready to go, you just go down there, check yourself in immediately. Just go.
It's 2:15 in the morning where she's
just go. Listen, I admit people at 2:15 in the morning all the time.
Dr. Drew, do they usually advise women or guys with that history to go for HIV or hepatitis C tests?
We do. Yeah, in our we routine. I mean, you can't force someone to get an HIV. You can't force anyone to do anything in terms of their medical care.
Have you taken those tests?
I've taken them in the past. Since I've used needles, I've never shared needles. I've never shared this with anybody. This is kind of like my own thing. I don't use
that's good.
Other people.
But you may have been around drug addicts. You have sex with them?
No.
Right.
I haven't. I mean, I've had problems in the past, but I've gotten all my tests since then. I'm
pretty monogamous person. I have sex with
I think I know where Ron's going with this. Would you like to do some porn before you sober up?
You are.
I mean, before you clean up.
You are disgusting, Adam.
You're going to need to put a little money away before you go into rehab.
Dr. Drew, would you backhand him if you were here?
No. Hey, Ron, I heard you on Opie and Anthony yesterday.
How was it?
Yeah, it was good. I never really heard much of you before, but you had a good idea.
Yeah, they're a fun show.
Well, you got to turn the sound
Crazy
up
guys.
once in a while. Hey, Stephanie?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go do this, because, you're 22, but you sound like you're 45.
Yeah.
It seems like you've had a tough life.
I've had my fair share of stuff.
The statistics on this are, Stephanie, that if you don't get into recovery by the time you're in your 30s, you're not going to live to see your 40s.
All right.
Now, speaking of which, real quick, isn't heroin one of the chief exports of Afghanistan? Wasn't that Osama's big thing?
Oh, sure.
He's really a bad guy.
Well, there's nothing in the Quran that says you can't export
Harala did this whole big expose on that being a very big export, that and opium from that area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bad people.
Yeah. That, and I think Beanie Babies is one of the other big exports there, if I'm not mistaken. We forgot to get back to Daniel.
Okay.
Poor son of a bitch has been on hold for 20 minutes now. Now, Daniel called in, I think it was last night, actually. No, it was before we went to break. He's 35. He has been with a woman for 3 years, I believe. He plans on getting married to her. He's very much in love, but he read her email. And
she's carrying on with some guy she met at a symposium or something.
That's right, through work. And did you confront her on this, Daniel?
That's the thing. She's on working vacation right now.
With him?
What's that?
With him?
No, not with him.
All right.
The tone of the emails, first of all, when it happened, I don't think anything sexual happened. I think it was just an intellectual connection.
Okay. Well,
and then the tone of the emails really has cooled off. And the email, like during the summer, she was talking to him as a friend and talking positively about me. So I know where her heart is. My question mainly is, when she comes back from her vacation in 2 weeks, should I confront her on this, or would I be rubbing her nose in it?
Well, let me ask a few questions.
Okay.
How long have you been intercepting these correspondence?
She just left for vacation a week ago, and I've been house sitting. These emails were taken off her hard drive, and they were on a disk.
How'd you happen to find them?
Well, I was looking for another disk and found these. I mean, it seemed odd that there were emails taken off the hard drive, so I checked it out.
Of course. Now, but what I mean is, how long have you been? How far back does this go?
Oh, okay. I think March of this year.
March. And as far as what direction have they been going in? Were they steamier in April than they were in August?
That's a good question.
Yes.
They were.
She's gearing up. She's gearing up for a final fling. She really is.
Hold on here, Drew. Now, wait a minute. So they were more intimate back when, and they've been cooling off?
They cooled off, really quickly.
Well, what did they go from what to what? Like, what the steamiest stuff was what?
Just mainly her talking about wanting to get together with him at, some later date, and
but not describing what she wants to do with him.
Well, not real descriptive, no, but just getting together, for romantic time.
Well, did she say romantic time?
No, but just being naked with him.
They have gotten together already.
Hold on, being naked?
Yeah, she wanted to be naked with him.
Okay, hold on a second. Drew, get the butterfly net.
Yeah, I'm going.
If a gal is telling a guy she wants to get together with him and be naked, she's saying, I want to have sex.
Maybe they already did. You think they might have gotten together already?
It's
I'm a big fan. Dr. Joe, I feel 90% of the time I like communication.
Yeah.
And I'd be a fan of it in this case, too, that I think he has to confront her.
If he's going to marry her, he's going to carry around this resentment forever and doubts about the relationship.
You get less ulcers. You just have to confront her.
I'm worried a little about Daniel's denial level.
When in doubt, communicate.
Now, these were earlier things, and then later on, the conversation, the tone changed?
Well, I mean, in the email, the tone did change. I think the guy was reluctant. I don't think anything did happen.
Why don't you? Had they gotten together since the proclamation of getting nude together?
No.
They had not?
They have not. No.
Are you sure?
Well, the other guy's 3,000 miles away. I know for sure it didn't happen.
I see. Oh, okay. And
I was this morning. I'm here now.
Yeah. Yeah. I could blow Ron tonight, and he'd have a good alibi.
Well, what's her first name? No.
So
that wasn't me.
Yeah, it was.
That was not me.
That was it.
Yeah,
that was not me. What's this girl's initials? I might know her. No, okay.
Daniel.
Yeah.
I think you need to discuss this.
Okay.
And I do worry. Now, what'd the last correspondence say?
You were great.
No, I don't quite remember. I mean, it had really cooled off. They were corresponding more as professionals.
Okay. And Daniel, why aren't you more upset by this?
I was 2 nights ago. I tried calling a couple nights ago. I've been calling every night since, and I've kind of mellowed out a little bit.
Okay, but it seems like there's a fair amount of denial in your voice.
Well,
are
you a monogamist? Have you done anything other than her?
No, for 3 years. No, we've been.
Okay, all right.
I know where her heart is. I think her mind wandered, which.
Right, you got to find out where her vagina is. Forget about the heart. Okay.
All this very uncomfortable. There's an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, because you see, when we were asking him about, how intimate were these correspondents, like, oh, no, nothing bad. I mean, they just talked about getting naked together.
Yeah. She comes home someday and goes, "Hi, Daniel. Hi. How's everything?" You're in trouble. How are you?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're in trouble.
Vomit's going to come out of my penis when I jack off tonight.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
You understand how that works?
I'm
sorry. Those great sounds you make?
Yeah, I'm just going to, right at the moment I actually, it's going to be like just bits of corn and carrots coming out of it.
Oh.
All right. Does vomit ever come out of the penis?
No, but
I'm going to try tonight.
Maybe like a fruit in the middle, kind of.
Okay.
You could pass a stone out of there, but
Yeah.
All right. Daniel needs to talk to her, and he needs to keep his ears open.
He needs to be non-confrontative. He needs to have a dialogue with her about what is the reality. Be open to hearing it. And then reestablishing the relationship based on what reality is.
Let's talk to Isaac. Isaac?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
24. What's up?
How are you?
Pretty good, man. First of all, I want to say, Adam Carolla, your logic's flawless.
Whatever.
Thank you, Isaac from Nampa.
Yeah, I mean, it's as if you're channeling the gods themselves. I mean, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Then with Dr. Drew, you're coming along. I appreciate you.
Whatever.
Yeah, he's making strides. He's making strides.
Hey, and then, regardless, and then Ron Jeremy, your education is evident, and that's wonderful. Anyways,
Whatever.
Speaking of Ron Jeremy, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ron Jeremy, I got a question, Ron.
Shoot.
Yeah, you're the 0.5% of this population that's got a big junk. You know what I'm saying? And you can go all day, you go all night, man. You're amazing.
Well, thank you for that, and I don't know if that's true, but it sounds great. Good. Okay, good.
Hey, well, then film magic is...
Yes, that helps, too, of course.
Yeah, well, whatever. But my point is, look, I got an ex-girlfriend now, but it's been a while since I had a little sex, but this is my question. Everything's good. I got a decent-sized, dong, and
right.
Only thing that sucks is premature ejaculation.
How premature?
I mean, it's not. I mean, come on, man. A couple minutes.
All right.
But I mean, look, I just, I want to see my lady be satisfied.
Did you ever try just stopping? You take a stroke or two and just stop and use maybe face, hands. I mean, you ever just stop?
Yeah, definitely. But it's like, you get to that point, as soon as you hit that little sense of...
Well, how about if you do let go, and then you go the second time, you'll last longer?
Is that how it is, or what?
That'll sometimes work. If you let go with one technique, let's say oral, then you watch TV, have a little slight meal, then go on to the second where you last longer.
Slight meal, 6-foot sub and a pony cake.
No, because it's true. I mean, when guys eat a big meal, they want to, burp, let gas, and sleep till Christmas. No, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? I've seen that work.
All right.
Hey, introduce me to the girl that wants to eat in between, and I'm freaking out. I'm there,
It's true. I mean, like, in our business, you know, we did jokes about that. Like, you think of something really grotesque in your mind, so it could last longer. Or I'll look at the cameraman's foot. I've done that. I'll look at a light switch, or take my mind off of it so I can keep on stroking. It's those tricks, or you think of something really gross in your mind, which is, one guy was funny, he'd think about men, saying that's dangerous, because if you let go anyway, it could change your whole way of life.
Right.
Like Pavlov dogs, the Skinner box. But the thing is, you know, but in real life, you don't have to do that. You can actually just stop.
Right.
Use another part of your body to get the girl going.
Right.
A lot of girls will get off with a good tongue just as much as anything else.
No,
you know?
more.
You know what I'm saying there, fella?
Yeah, he does. I put him on
So
hold.
you can get her, again, you know, to quote my little buddy Sam before he passed away, he'd say if he could give really good head, he would have to give away everything he owns every 5 years, you know?
Yeah. Well, we say it all the time. Women, and I know you're jaded because in your business the women are screwy and they're trained to fake it, but in real life, women like oral sex better.
They do in our business too, a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's the documentary, a lot of that. That's one of my favorite things to do myself.
You will do some more directing, I'm guessing, and let me tell you something. Cut that scene short, would you? Where the guy's going down. I don't mind a little bit. Well, let's not overdo it. That's not why I bought the film.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What kind of guy watches that?
So, I don't know. Jock the Jew, I think, is clearing his throat now.
Well, listen. Drew, did you hack something up that tasted like a woman? Here's what I'm saying. A little of that is fine, but there's more. There's better stuff. Let's get to it. That's what I'm saying. I am disgusted by directors who show the guy doing it on the girl and then not the girl doing it on the guy.
Oh, that doesn't happen
That's
in a
not
movie.
right.
That never happens in a film. I've never seen that.
Sometimes
that's bizarre. You have to show both.
There's a very extended dance version on her, and then just a quick little ditty on him, and then they're into the sex. I don't like that.
Not good.
No, bad.
Most of the films show a lot more of the girl giving it to the guy, I think.
And rightfully so. And let me give you another directing tip here, Ron. Here's something I notice a lot in the adult film industry, and it disgusts me.
I'm taking notes. No saliva into the gate. No dribbling.
Into the gate.
I got the Adam Carolla list of things to change. Go ahead. I'm enjoying this. This is good.
Here's what drives me nuts. I like
Rocco.
I like the big jugs. I enjoy the big jugs.
You like natural
video.
more.
I like natural more.
You like Christy Canyon. I agree with you.
Sure, but I'll take what I can get. And sometimes, so I get these movies, you know, these, Big Jugs 18 and stuff like that. I get all these.
More than a handful. It's my
number one.
Oh, this Minka, yes. I get these big jug videos, right? Now I'm watching the movie, and they don't exploit the jugs at all.
Bad mistake.
The girl gets on top. I'm looking at her back the whole time.
That is ridiculous.
What the hell kind of thinking is this?
An idiot director. That's bad. It's very bad.
I see it all the time. It's like, I got the big jug video with the gay director.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That's foolish.
You get the big jugs, get the chick on top, have her face the camera, you retards.
That's like when they think all the girls totally shaved and they're doing all doggy style so you can't even see it.
Right.
No, it's a big mistake.
All right, Ron, you would never do that to me?
Not in a million years, Adam.
All right, thanks, brother. All right, we're going to hug.
All right. We're manly men.
I have some vomit come out of my urethra. Ron's going to make that noise, and we'll be right.
Thanks, Adam. Thank you.
Right after this. Yes, it's Drew. It's Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Drew in Minneapolis tonight, although we hardly miss him. Ron Jeremy in studio. Of course, legendary adult film star Ron Jeremy. Something I thought about when I was urinating.
Great time.
I forgot to...
Were you holding it, or you just can you do it without touching it? You have to wash your hands afterwards if you don't actually make contact with it.
No, I never.
Is that right, Dr. Joe? You're being hygienic if you don't touch it.
Yeah, well, we've had this discussion.
Yeah,
you're
Ron
kidding me.
Touch it. He puts
I didn't think this up. Oh, good Lord.
Hey, we were talking about Geraldo, I think, earlier tonight, or his name.
I said that he actually was in Afghanistan and noticed how they had the poppy seed plants and the heroin. And he made a discovery many years ago.
I'll tell you the discovery I made many years ago. Harry Reams looks like Geraldo.
They do. Yes, they do.
My God, they do.
Yes, they do. People notice that. And there was a guy
Did people
also.
Bring that up?
Yes, they have brought that up. And John Holmes looked like Eddie Haskell. And that guy Dave Morris, who's a porn actor, looked like that actor from Taxi. I forgot his name.
Jeff Conway?
No.
Latka?
Looks like Dondi, the comic book character from years ago.
Wait,
I forgot that name. I forgot the actor's name.
Andy Kaufman?
No. The young
Judd Hirsch?
No.
Oh, Judd Nell. No, Judd.
The young, good-looking actor.
Judd
The guy
Hirsch.
that disappeared after. Done one of the five
No,
that
I
disappeared.
said Jeff Conley.
No,
Jeff Conley.
Oh, you mean Tony
Thank
Danza?
you.
Tony Danza.
Tony Danza. People thought that Tony Danza was in that pool room scene with Marilyn Chambers. Say, no, the guy's name is Dave Morris. It looks like Tony Danza.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that was him. A lot of people.
Yeah. There's a porn actor, old one that looks like Judd Hirsch, too.
Jamie Gillis.
Yes, Jamie Gillis.
They do look alike. Yes, they do look alike.
Yeah.
And Herschel Savage looks a little like a Saddam Hussein. No, I'm kidding.
Jamie Gillis. What a class act.
But no one looks like me. Is that a good thing?
Let me tell you one more porn star lookalike. John Leslie.
John Travolta.
No.
He was young. There was a resemblance.
Good looking guy, but hold on. John Leslie and the rich bachelor from The Flying Nun. Carlos or whatever, the guy she was always trying to fly over to his place to get the money. Never saw The Flying Nun?
No, actually, no.
You all hold those two together.
I did see it, but I don't remember the character.
All right.
Fernando Rey. What was his name?
I'm telling you, if someone could get on the computer and find that guy and find John Leslie, you would see the same guy. All right, where were we here, Drew?
Line 4.
Line 4.
Going on the web.
Richard?
Oh, yeah.
What's up?
Well, dude, for anybody that knows anything about pumps, I got this pump a couple months ago. I've never even known about them. And, I've started off being 6 inches and been married for 10 years, and I just want to improve my wife and I relationship.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with an instruction manual.
It doesn't?
No.
Well, you see this giant tube, you put something in there usually.
Yeah. What do you think, you put that up your ass?
No. I'll tell you what, man, the guy
She sucked out my lower intestine. It's horrible.
Pretty damn close.
I think they're not good for you, and I actually feel guilty because I actually endorsed one many years ago.
Sure.
I think Dr. Drew will bear me out on this. I don't think they're that good for you.
Well,
what it does is it makes you larger in the soft stage for a little bit of time. I think it cauterizes or just blows up the skin. Like if you suck on your arm right here long enough, the skin's going to stick out a little bit.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like having an elephant's trunk hanging at the end of it.
It'll make you look larger in the soft stage for a little while longer. But when you get the erection, it's going to be the same thing anyway.
Okay.
So it'll puff up your skin, and it'll go away in a matter of minutes. I don't think it really does anything.
Well, look, if it did, everyone would have one. What?
Alejandro Rey plays Carlos Ramirez.
Carlos, that's what I said. Thank you. Do you have a picture of the guy?
Whatever.
No.
All right. I'm telling you, if someone find me
But
a picture.
I think it's fairly unhealthy, dude. Would you agree with that? Not for this character, but...
I can't imagine it's good for you. No, I don't see where it
Can't
would
see
be.
being that good for you, no. And I hate to do that to the companies that make those, but I don't think it's that good for you.
Well, look, I think most guys do it.
You're breaking capillaries, correct?
You could.
By sucking the skin. I mean, it's,
Look, for 3/4 of there's a few things. First off, it's like a jack-off device, I think, for a lot of guys.
Could be.
I think they just like the feeling, the sensation of it. And the next thing is, it's just more time with them and their dork.
Yeah, if you want to make the girl feel better, try something different. Just try costumes, using your face, using other parts. Get little beads, dildos, vibrators. There are other things you could do, which you don't have to blow up your schlong.
I've said this many times. You want to get some good size out of that thing, just leave it on. Just do her with it on.
Sure.
That's no problem. I mean, there's some extra width and length, right?
Sure.
And it's graduated, so you know where you are.
Or last longer. Or if you want to give a girl a really good time, just last longer. Do it for a while, stop, do something else, go back to it again. There are other things you could do rather than just try to blow up your penis,
Maria?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi. I
Hi.
can't believe I'm actually talking to you guys.
Well, we're excited about talking to you, too.
Okay, here's my problem. I've been dating this guy for about 10 months now. And really early in the relationship, he brought up getting married. And I told him that I wasn't going to be ready for a couple years. And I thought we had resolved the issue. And he's brought up now moving in together. And I told him no again. And I'm just wondering, because I've been honest with him and I've told him how I feel, but my friends are telling me to break up with him because I don't have that ultimate goal. And I eventually, within the next year, want to move away from here. So I'm just wondering, is it wrong for me to keep dating him?
Are you honest with him about your feelings?
I've been honest, but
then it's up to him.
He's weird.
Guys do this all the time with women, right?
Well,
This is sort of guy's thing.
Well,
big mistake.
Wait a second. Where do you want to move to?
San Diego.
Oh, well, big deal. You live in Anaheim now. I thought you were talking about Bolivia or something. Would you want him to move with you if things were going good a year from now?
That wouldn't happen.
Why not?
What's the matter with him?
Wait, why are you so opposed to it? You start off by saying you've been with the guy for 10 months and you're very much in love, and now it's like, hey, this guy's baggage.
No, I mean, I don't
moving in could ruin relationships sometimes if it's not ready.
No, I'm not trying to sabotage it. I'm just trying to ask if I'm being fair.
Well, you know, it's funny. We didn't say sabotage.
Well, I know that's probably the next comment coming.
No, this doesn't feel like sabotage per se. I mean, not in our traditional sense, but I'm just wondering
that you're just not into him.
I'm wondering why you started off by saying what a great guy was and how you're very much into him, and now it just sounds like a total dead end situation here. I mean, why are you with him, really?
He's a really nice guy.
And you don't want to break his heart?
Yeah.
And here's the question, I guess. At this point in your life, at 22 years of age, could you be with anybody? Is it just this guy, or are you just not really ready for anybody right now?
I'm questioning that.
And you told him that. You've told him that.
What?
You've told him that.
I've been honest with him, and I think sometimes he chooses to tune me out.
When did your parents break up?
No, my parents have been married
together?
for 30-some years.
Really? And everything's good there with you and stuff?
Yeah.
So you don't have any big problems? No one molested you or beat on you or anything?
No.
No alcoholism or weird daddy stuff?
No.
Okay. Well, look, if that's true, then you're just not into this guy.
Well, you're just not into a relationship now either. So
I know, but Drew, if she was saying
they could
But here's my thing: is it wrong to keep dating him?
I don't think so.
It's probably more wrong for you than it is for him.
Right, it's wasting more of your time. At least he's getting blown once in a while. I mean,
you got assumption.
Yeah. We'll go out on a limb.
I think nothing ruins a relationship more than when you move in before you're ready to move in.
No, that's not.
I think that's for all couples, I think.
Well, but look, here's the situation. And, Drew, you know that if she was calling and saying that her dad abandoned the family and she had an abusive stepdad and so on and so forth, we'd be encouraging her, look, stay with this, stay with the therapy and work on it, you know?
That's right.
But she's saying, my parents are still together, 35 years have been married, everything's great, I got no real problems. I just want to get away from this guy in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And she's not screwed up, she just ain't into the guy. And
She's either dating him, but not being that much together with him.
And when you are a 22-year-old attractive woman, you're queen of the world. And when there's a young guy who's into you and a little bit needy, you got all the chips on your side of the table.
Would he be willing to put up with your dating other guys too, or he wouldn't put up with that?
No, he'd go nuts. He's into her.
I don't feel comfortable doing that.
And he's your age?
No, he's older.
How old is he?
He's 29.
Mm-hmm. And the fact is, now what do you think? What if this guy's a little bit of a puss, right?
No.
No?
No, not really.
You mean it's not? If he was a little tougher with you, he wouldn't turn you on?
No.
He's a strong-willed guy.
Yeah.
He just wants to get married, and he's old-fashioned that way.
Well, I think he's at that point, and I'm not there.
Okay. Well, that's
We're just saying the same thing over and over.
Age difference. All right.
Am I answering my own question?
Yeah.
Yes,
you're done.
yes.
Yeah. Stop wasting your time.
Okay.
And you're not doing him any favors at 29. If he's 29 and he's looking to get married, you're not doing him any favors by stretching this thing out another 8 months before you then ultimately move away. All right. Where the hell are we? Going to take a break?
Yeah.
So listen, here's what I need. I need to find a picture of Harry Reams and Geraldo Rivera. And I need to find Carlos from The Flying Nun.
Alejandro Rey,
yes. And John Leslie. We got to find.
We can get this on the internet very quickly.
Do you know how to work a computer?
No.
You can't just bang it with your dork and get it to do something?
That might work.
Okay.
Wait. I can tell you. Yep, you can get Alejandro's picture. Uh-oh. Oh, no, you can't.
Okay, let's try to figure this out.
That's good radio.
Oh,
yeah, Drew.
boy.
You're the king of that, Drew.
Now, this is wonderful.
Drew, you'll be glad to know I had a 40-minute conversation with the pilot about the Fiesta snack mix on the flight today. By the way...
Where were you coming from?
And I hate that crap. They only serve it on planes, and it disgusts me. But here's a nice little tidbit. The pilot of the flight I took from Vegas tonight...
Yeah.
Hot chick.
Hot
chick pilot. Captain. Not co-pilot, navigator. Captain of the 737 I flew from Vegas tonight. Young, hot chick. It was like a porn movie, Ron. That's the only time I've seen a chick in a uniform who was hot.
Let me get political for a second. Did the door of the cockpit look any stronger to you than they've looked in the past?
No, and
no.
Meanwhile,
What's going on with that?
Certain airlines.
Meanwhile, the chick
that's great to know.
Chick who's flying the plane is all of 118 pounds, and her back is turned to whoever the Shiite is who's flying in behind her. You know, let me just say this real fast. I know Ron is going to appreciate this.
I got to make a comment too.
As an ex-carpenter and basically handyman and fix-it man and a jack of all trades, for $50 in a 6-pack of Heineken, I could retrofit a plane quite easily. Now, I wouldn't do it according to FAA regulations, but I could do something that would keep a guy out for 5 good kicks before I, from first class drunk, got this guy in a good bear hug. But no, it's 5 years and $50 million for the FAA to get all the paperwork done and retrofit every plane. It drives me nuts. One of those New York sticks. You know, in New York, there's on the doors just the bar that leans down against the thing. One of those is going to stop a guy for a few kicks until a bunch of passengers come up and tackle him.
El Al planes in Israel have never had these problems. Sure. You have to get in from the other outside the plane.
All right, hold on 1 second, though. I'm sorry we're running late for break. I know I said my piece, and you got a piece to say, too. So we'll take our break, and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
And we'll praise
I got some great advice for the airline industry.
All right, right after this. It's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. It's Dr. Drew. Talking in-flight safety with porn star Ron Jeremy. I'll tell you, what an eclectic life I have.
Tell him what I said.
I'm singing. Hold all right, turn that down, please.
Yeah, you put your arms that way.
I didn't want to spit on Ron. I was scared to open my mouth too wide in front of Ron.
I'll find a sign saying insert here, right?
What did you tell him during the break, Ron?
Tell him, Adam.
Well, okay, we'll tell him together. Ron was suggesting that there be... Here was Ron's theory, and it's an interesting one.
Look, let's face the facts. The way things are now, no hijacker could ever get away with it because the passengers are going to kill him. I mean, now there's no one's going to sit back. 200 ladies could kill 4 guys with knives, all right?
That's right.
Now, you've taken over the plane, now what? Even if you could fly a Cessna or Piper Cup or a Layman, you cannot get behind the cockpit and know what to do. Everyone says that. I've talked to pilots. Why don't they teach us, like they always teach you the exits are over here, here's the flotation device. First of all, a water landing is probably death. So they teach you how to take your seat cushion to use as a flotation device. Why don't they tell everybody, in case of an emergency, this is how you get ground control on the phone. That's it. Here's how you get ground control. If you're behind the cockpit, the diagram on the pamphlet that you have in front of your seat will show you how to get communication. Because then hopefully ground control could show you how to set... there's actually autopilot for landing on some planes.
Yeah.
You got a fighting chance.
A lot of them.
Pennsylvania would still be here today. You know that right now
wait a minute.
Even stewardesses, even stewardesses and flight attendants do not even know how to press the certain frequency buttons to get ground control on the phone.
Well,
and then hopefully you got a fighting chance of being talked down.
Here's what I thought. But first,
that's so tough to teach. That's so simple.
I told Ron they would never do this because of the confidence factor. It just
why? Look at the water landing. It's another joke.
They would not put a diagram on how to contact the tower if the pilots had coronary.
You don't say it like that.
All right, but listen,
in case of emergencies, here's how you get communication.
I'll tell you how.
What's so hard about that?
Let me tell you how it would happen.
Everyone should know that.
I told Ron I do believe that the stewardesses, all of them, should be trained in some sort of rudimentary
and they're not,
and all that kind of stuff.
I asked them today. They are not trained.
Here's how it would happen now. Somebody would pick up a phone, a cell phone or a flight
You can
phone,
get ground control on
just
that?
like they did. Yeah, they'd call
Can't
somebody,
get 'em.
someone would
When
call.
you're high enough on the ground, those cell phones hardly ever work. Those phones are the GTE Air phones hardly ever work.
Well, they work, but it'd be a too big argument over whose credit card they were going to use.
Dr. Drew, the scenario being, in case if there's a hijacking, turns out the pilot's gone. So you might retake the plane, and then what?
Yeah.
Dead 200 people. What is so tough about teaching people, this is the button you press to get the ground control to get on the phone?
I
think
agree,
it's so
I
simple
agree with
and
you.
so easy.
I completely agree with you that
And they
all
don't
the
do it.
stewardesses should know this.
That too.
I disagree on the part. I mean, I don't disagree. I just say it's never going to happen, putting the extra pamphlet in the back of the seat.
No, just add a little diagram to the pamphlet we already have.
It's because
showing the buttons that you press.
That's not going to happen.
There's an attorney, the liability.
Yeah, there's 8 stewardesses. Give them the info. But someone would pick up a phone, call somebody, and it would route around.
Get to ground control?
Yes.
I'd love to see that happen. But
Why
if that
not?
happens,
Why?
you're going to crash into something.
They could do it. They could have done it on these flights, these fatal flights over Pennsylvania. They were talking to loved ones and stuff. They could have worked that out.
Well, in that case, they did. They were able to.
All right, but
communicate.
I do agree with Ron. Not a bad idea, especially stewardesses. You ready to go?
Is there time left in the show?
Yeah. Who are we talking to? You got a call here?
Let's just get this one out. Brian, 21.
Hello. Brian, 21. Yeah, for the past 3 days, you've had stomach pains.
Yes, I have. How you fellas doing?
Good. What is that, Drew?
Well, actually, see, I am 21, and I took all my health classes back in college.
Where is your pain? Dr. Brian, where's the pain?
It's more so in the lower abdomen and lower back area.
Which side?
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Well, it says on the screen here you're worried about testicular cancer. There are thousands of other causes of abdominal pain. Testicular cancer does not typically present a pain. It's typically you find something in the testes, so it's a hard rock-like swelling. Abdominal pain in there could be anything from appendix to constipation to diverticulation. It could be a ton of things.
All right, go to the
Shouldn't
doctor.
you see a doctor?
See a doctor.
Get it checked out.
Real
Absolutely.
quick.
It could be bladder, prostate. It could even be kidney stones.
Fine. Don?
Yes, hello.
Yes, more importantly.
How's it going?
Good.
I worked in a hotel once where you stayed at once up in Santa Barbara, and I worked there as a night auditor once and just wanted to say what's up. And I brought you a picture of H2O.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You made me laugh a lot. But a question to Ron, however. This isn't to offend you or anything, but I heard that
I thrive on these things.
I've also seen
Ron is easily offended, by the way.
I thrive on insults.
Cool,
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I've seen you in a club before and in a restaurant also as well. And my name is Don, and the guys started to call me Don Jeremy because I look like you kind of, but the...
All right. Hey, Don, I don't care if they call you Don Ho. Ask the question.
Either way, but it's like, I heard...
My sister, Amaho.
That Ron, you sucked yourself off in a film once?
Not to completion, but I'm able to I can kiss myself where the sun don't shine.
No, yeah, I put him.
That's called autofellatio.
Yeah, he didn't. No, not in his mouth. He came on his chest.
No, I didn't do that either. I actually kissed it, and I made sure to wear a rubber because I know where he's been. And I gave myself a wrong phone number so I wouldn't call me anymore.
Now, can you do that standing up, or do you got to lie down and put your ass against the door?
I can do it in any position, standing up. But yeah, I gained weight, so I can just kiss the tip.
Right. I'll tell you. Well, Ron has an unusually long penis and an unusually
and
short.
I was a gymnast in school in the short torso too. Yeah.
Short torso, so it's a very dangerous get at your junk combination.
Yeah. On a more important note, though, Dr. Drew.
Yeah, right.
They've said, and doctors have said, the guy was this testicular cancer. The man's biggest fear is prostate cancer, correct? One of the biggest killers among older men, correct?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Tomatoes.
Hold on.
You say tomatoes are very good for avoiding that happening?
Hold on. All you shut up. We're 10 minutes late for break. Ron, you have a question you can ask Drew off the air. We got to take a break.
I figure the public should hear that.
Well, I'm sorry. We'll be back.